Hey guys, how are y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And yes, before you ask, I am still at Disney World and I am hopefully having a good time because right now I am filming this before I leave so that you have something to watch while I'm in Disney so I'm not cranking out garbage and missing my vacation time. So, the big topic of today's video, is unpopular opinions. Now, I want to just say something before we begin. All of the movies that I am going to cover in this video are strictly my opinion, so if you have a different opinion, don't hate me in the comments, don't swear at me, just tell me you agree or disagree, and I will be fine with that. However, I am going to say this also. I respect opinions. I do not respect stupidity or ignorance, or I'll get to it in a minute when I talk about these movies. But essentially, I'm going to be picking out, I have a thing right here. This is not all of them because I have a pretty damn big list, but I have a pretty good selection of films that either critics hate or users hate. So like fans like us. Now again, the importance of today's video is respect other people's opinions. Do not respect stupidity and ignorance. So I'm just gonna go through all these movies and tell you why I think people don't like them and why I think they're wrong and why I love them. Again, if you have a different opinion than me. Again, don't hate me, this is just what I think of films. And again, what I say goes, in my opinion. So, let's begin with the first film, which is the Spongebob movie, Sponge Out of Water. Now, this is the second theatrical release of SpongeBob SquarePants. Now, we are going to be getting a third, and I really love this movie. A lot of people didn't like it because they felt that, of course, the first SpongeBob movie is basically like, a national treasure from Nickelodeon. Everyone freaking loves that movie. Even if you don't like watching the show, SpongeBob SquarePants, the show, has gotten a lot of hate. After season 3, seasons 4 through 8 were kiddish or kiddie or stupid. And then season 9 through whatever the heck we're on now, 13, 14, it's better now. Now, me personally, I love the entirety of SpongeBob. I don't think it ever got kiddie. It always was for kids, teens, and adults. It never just stooped down to one age group. The first movie was, of course, for all ages, and this movie's no exception. I thought it was really clever how they not only introduced the 2D into the 3D world, with, of course, look at the front cover, they have the, superhero thing. It was a fun little riff on the Avengers, with all the, superheroes that are in it. I also love the comedy. Antonio Banderas was really cool. The whole plot, this framework of this pirate finding treasure, and, trying to find these different cutscenes, all these different, treasures to the Krabby Patty formula and all that, and opening his own burger joint. I thought it was really cool, and of course having that combination of SpongeBob and Plankton work together. Of course, I think the main reason why this movie got hate is A, because of the CGIs. Yeah, some of it was a little cheesy, but other than that, I mean, maybe it's just not the original. Again, this might have to fall into the stupidity category. A lot of people probably didn't see it because they felt it was too kiddie, or the marketing was a little weird, and the marketing for this movie was a little effed up. But I really do love this movie. If I were to review it, if a full review, tell me you want that in the comments, and I will review both SpongeBob films if you want me to. So yeah, highly recommend this movie if you like SpongeBob. I love it. I think it's really, really funny for all ages, and not sure why people hate it too much. Second is a big one, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Now, this came out in 2011 to coincide with the Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, the video game, and it's a big title. Essentially, this movie, it didn't get mass hate. Again, I don't really check critic scores anymore. I just know that worldwide, not a lot of people like On Stranger Tides. They say it's the weakest one out of the 5, and while I'd have to say that's true, I do think that Pirates 1, 2, and 3 are the best, and then the second would be Dead Man Tell No Tales. I really did like number 5, even though Johnny Depp really effed it up, and there will not be a 6th film. They're rebooting it. F you, Johnny Depp, even though you're a great Jack Sparrow. This movie is really cool. Now, the Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, which is the third movie, was around 169 minutes, so just shy of 3 hours. This movie took a considerable dive down with 136 minutes, so it was shorter, but I think the CGI was great. I think that having, it was supposed to end it at World's End with a trilogy, and of course there is no 4 on the side here, so they weren't really planning a 4th, I don't think. Of course, Jack Sparrow was a little older. They were kind of teasing this as a reboot, but it is a direct continuation of At World's End. And I really love it. I think that Blackbeard is my second favorite villain. My favorite, of course, would be Davy Jones, and then Blackbeard, and then Captain Salazar, Barbossa, all the rest, whatever. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't understand the hate for this movie. It's not perfect. But again, if you want me to review all 5 pirate films, I will do that soon, because I don't mind. I'll rewatch them for you guys. I don't care. But yeah, I mean, I do. Even though this is my least favorite out of the 5, I really do enjoy it. I think it's really funny. Tons of action, and a lot of great moments to be had, indeed. I'm not don't really know why people hate it too much. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know. The mermaids were hot, so I don't know. Plus, again, it was in Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, so maybe that's why. Who knows? But I did enjoy it for what it's worth, and I don't know. It's a fun movie. Alright, I gotta take a deep breath, because next we have a biggie. I'm not going to spend too much time, but if you know my channel, you'll know that I fudging love this movie. And yes, you guessed it, it is the one, the only, the Lego Ninjago movie. Now, when this movie came out, tons of people were hating it, saying, oh, it's not as good as the Lego movie or the Lego Batman movie. Or, oh, it's not as funny. Oh, it's not as imaginative. Not to sound rude, but for people who said this wasn't as funny or imaginative as the Lego Batman movie or the Lego movie, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be rude, but you're kind of dumb. Because this movie is a huge parody of the Ninjago TV show. It also parodies slightly monster movies with Meowthra, as well as martial arts films. So, of course, everyone who likes Batman got the Easter eggs in the Lego Batman movie. Not everyone who watches Ninjago is going to get the monster movie stuff, or the martial arts stuff. And if you have not seen the Ninjago TV show, which I highly recommend you watch, and you just see this movie, you're probably not going to, yeah, you might not know all the ninja names in the end. However, seeing this movie, I'm a huge Ninjago fan, so of course I was going to love it, but even if you're not a Ninjago fan, I think that you're really going to find enjoyment. There are a lot of Easter eggs toward the show. There are a lot of Easter eggs toward monster movies with Meowthra, which is Mothra, but a cat, all that. So that's really cool. There's a lot of Jurassic Park references and all that. And of course, there are also a lot of martial arts films. So for people who didn't get the jokes, you just didn't get the jokes. They were in there. And I think I saw a review when I still looked at reviews, and they said it missed that pop culture pizzazz that the Lego Batman movie had. Now let me tell you something. The Lego Batman movie, that whole Matrix and Gremlins and all that stuff, that stuff that didn't, but King Kong, Harry Potter, stuff that didn't belong in a DC movie, was in there, and people loved it. Oh, it's great, you know, you have Voldemort. I love that too, but it doesn't make sense. Lego Ninjago movie, we have things that make sense. You know, it doesn't, we're not bringing in Wizard of Oz or any of that garbage. You know, it's only in the Ninjago sort of lore and monster movie and, you know, within that realm of martial arts too. So, and of course people hated it. They're like, oh, there's no pop culture. There's pop culture, man. You just didn't see it, or you just don't understand it. So yeah, this is a movie that, sadly, is the least favorite of a lot of people. I do respect your opinion if you don't like it, but again, it falls into that stupidity category where if you just have to educate yourself on what Ninjago is. You know, it is just as funny. You just didn't get the jokes. So once you understand the jokes, it's pretty damn funny. And that's why it's my favorite movie. It not only pissed people off, but it changed, you know, I love the TV show, and it changed the movie. And a lot of Ninjago people hated the movie because it was different. Just put your big boy pants on and accept it as different. It's really good. So, sorry if I called you guys an idiot if you don't like this movie, but you have to like it for the right reasons, you know. Having an opinion is fine, but not educating yourself and then saying you hate it, or not even watching it and saying you hate it, that's just being kind of dumb. So I love the Lego Ninjago movie, and I will always, like, if I could get a shirt that said Lego Ninjago movie is amazing, I totally would effing wear that. Such a good film. Now, next, we have a movie that not a lot of people liked, or not a lot of people saw, I guess, which is Disney's Tomorrowland. This is a great live-action movie. One of the only live-action movies that probably should have been PG-13 by Disney that was PG, and I know Maleficent was kind of brutal in some state, but you know what I mean. This one had the most violence and language and all that. So, I do like this movie, though. Of course, George Clooney, I'm not a huge fan of George Clooney. I freeze. I'm Batman. That's kind of why I kind of fucked it up for me. But with this whole thing, you get this cute girl, who I don't know her name. What's her name? Britt Robertson, of course. And then, of course, you have Raffi Cassidy, I think, playing her, the robot lady. This is a great movie. Again, someone's saying here, Tomorrowland is a blast. Again, I don't really normally listen to people's opinions, but they're right, actually. It is a blast. I really did enjoy this movie. It is, what is it now? 130 minutes, so pretty long for a PG Disney movie. It had a lot of great action, a lot of funny moments, and of course, yes, it had that the World Fair thing for It's a Small World, so that was cool. There's a lot of Disney fans who don't like it. I'm not quite sure why. It has a lot of Disney and nostalgia, and it's just a fun action movie with a lot of good humor and special effects that really do hold up. Of course, like I said, it is PG for a lot of things, so it is directed by Brad Bird, who directed The Incredibles and The Incredibles 2. So, of course, this was going to be a pretty risque PG movie, you know, bumping the line a bit for Disney, but I really did enjoy it. Of course, it's pretty much for all ages, and again, I'm not really sure why people hated it. I thought it was a really fun movie, had a lot of great action, and it's definitely unpopular, but I really enjoyed it. Next, we have my all-time favorite DreamWorks movie. If you know me, I'm not a huge fan of DreamWorks. I think most of their animation is for kids only. There's only a few that stand out to be live action, and that is, of course, How to Train Your Dragon. And if I'm really thinking, maybe that's it. I think How to Train Your Dragon. And, of course, Rise of the Guardians. Now, my cousin and I actually really got into this movie, and I got into the books, which I can't remember who wrote the books, but they were really good books, and I don't think they ever made a sequel to the Sandman one. I don't think. But they were actually really good books, and they were, you know, when I was a kid, it was like, oh, cool, you know, Santa Claus is freaking, you know, beast of a warrior, and don't worry, Guardians are still Guardians. North is still awesome. However, this movie is my all-time favorite DreamWorks film. It is the perfect Christmas movie, the perfect Easter movie, and just the perfect movie to watch year-round with your family, and it is for all ages, too. So this is, I think, the most, the movie that is for the most all ages, I think. How to Train Your Dragon is up there, too, but this one has a lot of great animation, lots of good humor, and for me, this was the movie that really, I don't know, like, there's 3 movies that really got me going, or a few. There was Cars when I was a kid, this movie, The Adventures of Tintin, and, of course, the Lego movie starting off the LCU. Those movies, animated-wise, I soaked up, and I loved it, and I still love it into my adulthood. Rise of the Guardians is my favorite DreamWorks film. It's got tons of great action, a lot of, you know, good themes in it as well, a lot of really touching moments, and I watch it every year with my family on Christmas Eve before Santa Claus comes. So yeah, I am really, really happy that this movie was made, but I am also really unhappy that there was never a sequel, because apparently DreamWorks lost a lot of money from it. Don't know why, because again, this is like their best one in my opinion. I mean, it's either this or Burping and Farting Shrek. So I think I'd rather have this than that any day. But again, hopefully we get a Rise of the Guardians 2, because that would be amazing in my book. Alright, here we go. This is actually the first Pixar movie, the only Pixar movie that is on my list. I loved Cars, and I absolutely adored Cars 3, but you know what was my second favorite? That's right, it's Cars 2. Everyone that I talk to, except for like maybe 3 of my friends, absolutely hates this movie. They poop on it constantly, and I really don't know why, because this movie, to me, was a breath of fresh air from Cars 1, because I love Cars 1. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, seriously, guys, you don't even want to know how many times I've watched that shit. I mean, Cars was my favorite thing ever, and I collected all the cars, the characters, and it still is one of my favorite films. In fact, Cars, the whole trilogy, is my favorite Pixar franchise of all time. Not just because, oh, it's nostalgic. No, it holds up to me as by being my favorite for reasons. And again, if you want me to review any of these movies that I have not reviewed already, tell me, and I will do it if you want specifics as to why I like certain things. So, if I'm to sum it up, Cars 2, essentially this is the only DreamWorks movie that's rated G that should have been PG, because if you look G, all ages admitted. So, haha, take that, haters. G does not mean 2-year-olds, it means all ages, because it says so right here. But the big problem is, there's gun violence. And I get it, they're talking cars, but there's machine guns and rockets and killing and beatings and torture in a G-rated movie? Come on, Pixar, what are you thinking? Anyway, this movie is 106 minutes, which is pretty normal for, you know, an animated movie. But my biggest strength with Cars 2 is that it went to the spy genre. Having Finn McMissile and Holly Shiftwell and all these spy characters, Professor Zundap, Professor Z, he's one of my favorite villains of all time in animation. He is so funny and so cool. And I love his monocle. But the entirety of having this subplot devoted to Mater. Now, this is probably the reason why everyone hates Cars 2, because it had a lot of Mater. And like I said in another video, well, you know what, I'm not going to mention that because of reasons. But Minions. I took Minions, right? If you can have Minions be perfect in movies, but then give them their own film, and it's pretty much barf. Mater was really funny in Cars 1. He was one of the best supporting characters in that movie. And they're like, hey, we'll make Mater the front guy in Cars 2. Now, Lightning McQueen is still the front guy. Come on, he's in the front cover. However, Mater is really the you know, front runner here in terms of story. He goes on this mission with Finn and Holly. It's really, really cool, really, really fun, really, really funny. However, to me, that was the best part. Like, in my opinion, I could only watch Lightning McQueen go around a racetrack so many times without getting boring. You know, oh, they crash, cool, but it's like, now, mind you, there are scenes in Cars 2 where you have Lightning in the World Grand Prix and all that, with Miles Axelrod and all that stuff. However, it was really cool to be able to watch Lightning McQueen and his buddies race in this World Grand Prix, and then see another side plot of what Mater gets into with Finn and Holly. I thought it was really cool, and had a lot of great action. I mean, it had like incredible style action. Great animation that still holds up today, and this is my second favorite. It would go Cars 1, Cars 2, and then Cars 3. And the big reason why I'm so mad about this movie is that Pixar even treated it like it didn't happen. Like, they were sucking the you-know-what of every Pixar fanboy hater who was like, Cars 2, shit! And I was like, okay, again, I respect your opinion, but you can't just say it's bad because Mater's in it. I mean, come on. If you actually, again, if you want me to review this movie for individual reasons, I will, and I'll tell you why I love it in a different video if you want me to do that. However, to have Mater in this lead, I think it was really cool and it helped, but to have Cars 3 happen, and Mater got a girlfriend. Mater and Holly were a couple at the end of this movie. They didn't mention Holly once. They didn't mention Finn, Professor Z, the fact that Lightning McQueen had a friggin' bomb on him. None of that was mentioned in Cars 3. You could really go watch Cars 1 and then Cars 3 and not watch Cars 2 and it wouldn't change a darn thing. And that's what makes me mad, is that Pixar treated it like it didn't even happen. And that's really bad. Because Pixar, as a company, you're not supposed to listen to feedback. If you did that, there would be no movies. Of course you're going to get hate on stuff. That doesn't mean you have to listen to it. You can take it into advantage, but you don't need to change it. So for everyone who hates Cars 2 for their opinions, I respect your opinion. But if you hate it just because of dumb reasons like, oh, it's Mater, or oh, it's not just racing, then come on. Really? Next, we have quite possibly one of my favorite action films ever, and it got pretty bad critically reviewed. Don't know why. Again, I don't trust critics. I don't look at them ever again. It was a few years ago. However, I thought I would just for this review, and it got 55. The same review as the Lego Ninjago movie, which Lego Ninjago movie and this are extremely underrated in my opinion. And, well, it's Kingsman: The Golden Circle. I absolutely love this movie. The whole fact that Kingsman: The Secret Service was about this, Secret Service, next generation James Bond thing with swear words and gore and sex and all that. It's one of the best movies ever made, Kingsman: The Secret Service. But Kingsman: The Golden Circle is better, in my opinion, because it truly embraced the campiness that it's so needed. Yes, Kingsman: The Secret Service was campy and funny and didn't take itself too seriously, unlike Mission Impossible and James Bond 007. However, this movie took it the right step, in my opinion, and made it even more funny and more campy. It wasn't completely saturated with cheese, where you were like, oh, this is really dumb, But, I mean, it had stuff like underwater vehicles. It had really cool fight scenes. It had robotic arms. It had, Poppy Land and all that. I think it was really cool. It is, let me see here. It is 141 minutes, so a little longer than Kingsman 1. And it's got a great supporting cast. It's got, I guess if you haven't seen it, spoilers, but Harry's back. You have Elton John, which I'm not a big fan of Elton John for reasons. However, he does a really good job in this movie. As an extended cameo, I think he really does a good job. And if it wasn't for him, Taron would never have made the Rocket Man movie, which I have not seen yet, which I don't plan on seeing. But if you want me to review it, no, check it out, whatever. But with that in mind, I loved the action in this movie. I loved the plot. It made you care about the characters more because they empathized more with things. The whole drug thing, I think, was better than the phone thing. And I know Kingsman: The Secret Service was based on The Secret Service by Marvel, or Marv, that comic book, which I do own and I do love. So hopefully they make another movie like this, which they are. They are making Kingsman 3 to round off the trilogy. However, I hope it gets well received, because even Taron Egerton, the guy who plays Eggsy, is like, look, I spent so much time and effort on this movie. Please love it. And I love it. And this movie has the best opening, in my opinion, to a movie of all time. The cab scene is effing gold. I love the Golden Circle so much. I can't wait for Kingsman 3 and The King's Man coming out February. Alright, here is the first Wizarding World movie that I think is criminally underrated or unpopular, and that is Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. Now, a lot of people hate this movie for pacing issues. That's the big thing. Oh, nothing happens. They just sit around. Nothing but exposition. Now, that falls into the stupidity category, not the opinion category. Let me explain myself really quick. First of all, I love this movie. However, yes, I will admit, the pacing isn't action. There's a little bit of action, right? And with 134 minutes, with an extended cut being 141, it's a long movie. There's not a whole lot that happens. There is a lot of exposition and plot handling, and that is because this is the second movie out of, what, I think 5 or 6? Now, this movie did so terribly, I don't know if they're going to make any more. I really hope they do, because it ended on a cliffhanger. And I really love Fantastic Beasts 1, and I think Fantastic Beasts 2 took it in the next great direction. Having this Dumbledore character, this Grindelwald character, and having Newt Scamander and Jacob Kowalski and all these people go on these new adventures. Yeah, I will admit that they did kind of sit around a lot, but just like Harry Potter I can't talk again. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, those movies are long and they're very, very slow. Not a lot of action happens, especially Deathly Hallows Part 1. There's a lot of sitting around in the forest. And that to me is great because it shows that Harry Potter is not just about this. Almost fell. Harry Potter is not just about this action, you know, pew pew, wands, you know. It's not a shooting movie with wands. It's about character development and growth with some action sprinkled in. So I think that Deathly Hallows Part 1 did a great job of building Harry, Ron, and Hermione's character up, so that when stuff does happen, you care, and this movie did a great job of doing that as well. Yes, a lot of people sit around, but you do get a lot of plot. And again, there's going to be more movies. So for everyone biatching, oh, this movie was too slow, you have to, unless you just want 2 hours of fight scenes and no character growth. And then if, let's say, Newt dies in movie 5 or 4, then no one's going to give a crap because all they did was shoot their wands. So I think that's the main reason why. Again, a stupid reason that really wouldn't fall under the opinion category for me because, again, you need to know about film to get these kind of things. You know, if you were to tell me the pacing's off and give me reasons, that's fine, that's an opinion. But if you just tell me the pacing's wrong because all they do is sit around and, you know, nothing gets answered, there's going to be more. Calm down. I love Crimes of Grindelwald. It's such a good movie, and I really do hope they continue it. Even though this movie did terrible, I enjoyed it, and I know there are people out there who did as well. Again, if you disagree with me for real reasons, that's awesome. I completely respect you. That's it for that. But I can't wait for Fantastic Beasts 3 whenever they make it, and the rest, because it was really good. Now, getting toward the end of my list here, we have Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, a.k.a. Indiana Jones 4. Now, Indiana Jones 5 is set to start filming next year with Harrison Ford. Now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, Harrison Ford, he was like 70 in this movie. He was like 60-something. And he doesn't age too well, I gotta admit. Yes, Han Solo was dead. He's not tied down to Star Wars anymore, unless he's like a ghost or something in Episode 9. Who knows? We'll have to find out in December. However, he really Indiana Jones is his baby. He goes on interviews all the time saying, oh, Chris Pratt's not going to be Indy. When I die, Indiana Jones dies with me. So, for being 122 minutes and being released more than a decade, 2008, to, of course, coincide with Lego Indiana Jones, The Original Adventures, which didn't have the fourth movie, it just was the first three. But again, the next year we got Indy 2, which is a criminally underrated Lego game in my opinion, which if you want me to cover underrated video games in the future, I will. But I don't know, I really did like this movie. He was a bit slower in this movie. Of course, he's older. But, you know, that's really not a reason to hate this movie, I think. I think that it had a lot of great CGI for the time, a lot of great character moments, a lot of funny moments, a lot of great action. And, of course, I don't know, I mean, just something about it that was, you know, pure adventure. Yeah, he's older now, but I don't know. I liked it. That's all I can really say. I don't really understand why people don't like it. Yeah, he's older. There were some really clever nostalgic tie-ins to the originals, which was really cool, while of course building on that in another unique way. So I can't wait for Indy 5. I love all four Indy movies. Around the same. I'd have to say maybe Raiders is my favorite, aka the first one, but I still love them all. And I really did like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I don't know why people hated it. If you hated it, tell me in the comments and we can have a little debate. I won't get mad if you don't get mad. Alright, we're rounding off to the end here. We have 2019 David Harbour, Hellboy. Now, I have not seen the original Hellboy. I do have it on DVD. I got it from the exchange for like $4. I might watch it. Hopefully I can watch it. Again, as you're seeing this video, I'll be in Disney, but we'll have to see if I can watch it. This is the R-rated Hellboy with tons of language. Not tons of, I'd say like 22 or 30 F-words, swearing words in general. And of course a lot of gore. The big reason why people don't like this movie is because it revolves heavily on the comic lore. I have not read a single Hellboy comic in my life. I was a little confused when I saw it in the theater. I have to admit, there were a lot of characters and moments and creatures I was like, I didn't get the lore. But that I didn't hate it because of it, and I just recently rewatched it about a week ago, and I understood it. I have a few complaints. I do have a review on this. If you have not seen it, check it out. It's not perfect, not A+. Very close, though. To get an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes is very bad. Yes, there are a few CGI mishaps. It's not the biggest budget in the world. The plot is a little all over the place. It's very quick and loud. But I think that's what distinguishes it from the other ones. It's very, very comic, very violent, and I think, again, that's what distinguishes it from the other ones. I love this movie. I saw a lot of reviews of people like, oh, the editing's horseshit, and I'm like, really? Point it out. They pointed it out, and I watched it. It was fine. A lot of people are taking things out of context, saying, oh, there's a scene in this movie where Hellboy's talking with his dad, I can't remember his dad's name, on the apartment, right? And then the Asian dude who turns into a cat, Agent M11, I think, he goes down some escalator or some stairs, right? And we're like, oh, okay, that's how he gets down. And then someone, like, complained for 20 minutes that Hellboy, like, seemingly, like, appeared. It's like, dude, you do realize that, you know, if we actually watched Hellboy take the stairs, it'd be so effing boring. Or take the elevator. He already took the elevator one time in the movie, and he went to see friggin' Baba Yaga. So again, people who complain about the editing, I don't think they get filmed. I mean, I didn't want to watch him walk downstairs. I mean, he got down. He probably jumped. He's gosh darn Hellboy, for God's sake. Anyway, I have a review explaining why I loved it. Go check it out. I think it's really underrated, and a lot of people who complained about it just really didn't get it, I guess. Again, the CGI is a little weird, and Mia Jovovich, who played the Blood Queen, Nimue, I didn't know if she wanted to play like really serious or really comical, but I thought it worked, because again, it's the Hellboy universe, you can't be super serious. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Again, if you don't like it, that's fine, for real reasons. Don't just say because of the editing, and because, I mean, come on, the editing was pretty good in this movie. Yeah, one or two scenes were a little strange, but other than that, pretty perfect. Alright, we have the first Star Wars movie on this list. A lot of people liked this movie, and a lot of people did not like this movie, and my main reason why it's on this list is because a lot of people didn't even see this movie. Solo, A Star Wars Story. Now, first thing I want to say, this movie was automatically going to get screwed upon because it's not Harrison Ford. Now, newsflash, Harrison Ford is like fucking 100 years old. Of course he's not going to be de-aging. The guy with Alden Ehrenreich or whatever. Ehrenreich? I don't know, whatever. I'm just going to call him Young Han. He did a great job of this movie. He did a great job of not only impersonating Han Solo. Yeah, he didn't totally sound like, you know, relax, Chewie. You know, it wasn't like that. He was like, hey, relax, you know. He's younger. He's a lot younger than when we see him in A New Hope, which is his first on-screen appearance. This was a really great prequel. This is really the first character prequel. And now I know Rogue One was a prequel to A New Hope, how they got Death Star plans. But that movie was generally well-liked. I love it too, and a lot of people saw it. I know people, and I'm not going to name names, but I know people who I've asked, hey, did you see Solo? I loved it. What did you think? And you know what they say? They're like, oh, I didn't see it. I'm like, why? Oh, I don't have any interest. Well, then don't give me the BS that you didn't like it, you know, or that you don't have any interest in it. Watch the movie. It's really, really well made. Yes, what's his face? Donald Glover did a great job as playing Lando Calrissian. Paul Bettany, friggin' Vision. He was the bad guy. What's his name? Vaz, I think? I don't know, something, not Vaz. Damn it, I can't remember the guy's name. But it was such a great movie, I really did enjoy it. And again, my main reason is why it's on this list is because not a lot of people saw it. They didn't have any interest. Well, come on. If you're a real Star Wars fan like me, you're going to watch everything that's canon. This movie is canon. So for everyone biatching, oh, I didn't see it, it looks dumb, then you're not a real Star Wars fan. I'm sorry, but it's true. And I have to say that. And I feel bad calling out people and saying, you're that, but I feel like I need to tell people, otherwise they're just going to keep saying it. So if you have not seen Solo and you want to, watch it. It's really great. And again, if you have seen it and you don't like it, that's fine. But really, it's on this list because a lot of people didn't see it just because they didn't have interest. And you call yourself a Star Wars fan. Alright. Next we have, this is going to get a lot of shit from me. Hopefully you don't get any dislikes. I have 2016 Ghostbusters. Yes, the female lead Ghostbusters. Now, I have seen the first Ghostbusters, the original, and I absolutely adore it. I have not seen Ghostbusters 2. I heard it's terrible. I don't trust people. I trust me. And I have not seen it yet. I want to, so I'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, this movie really, I don't know, well, okay, I know why it got hate. Because it had women. And I get, oh, it's SJW, feminism, women power, PC. I can snip out SJW bullshit from a mile away. This is not it. They just happen to go, you know what, let's reboot Ghostbusters, and let's reverse it for comedic effect. Instead of the girl being stupid, we'll have Chris Hemsworth be an idiot. Instead of the men take over, we'll have the women take over. And having women in movies just to have women in movies is a bad thing. But if you have women in movies that mean something, that actually contribute to cinema, that's fine. And yeah, this really didn't contribute to cinema, but it wasn't just a blatant cash grab. It really was fun. And a lot of my issues with the original Ghostbusters was that it didn't hold up as far as comedy. I didn't laugh that much in that movie. It was sort of... Alright, so sorry about that, guys. My camera pooped out on me. I guess the camera decided that didn't like what I was saying about these movies. Anyway, sorry about that, and like I was saying before I was interrupted by my technology, I don't know, I just think that the Ghostbusters comedy was more relevant, and I think the CGI, of course the CGI is better, but when you look at the original Ghostbusters for what it was great. But this one, I think it's great too. It's not better, it's not worse. I think it's just good. It's even with the original. So sorry if you don't like 2016 Ghostbusters. I know a lot of people hate it. I think it was a good movie. If you just watch it for like a singular, its own thing, like a rebooted universe type thing, I think it really works. Now, my final movie that I want to talk to you guys about is the biggest one of them all. That is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Now, I will be reviewing this movie along with all the other Star Wars films. Basically everything Star Wars media-wise except for the Clone Wars and Rebels TV shows and Resistance and all that Freemaker Adventures. So I'm going to be doing all the reviews in December where I'm going to spend long videos talking about them. And the Last Jedi video is going to be really long as well because I'm going to A, review it in December, but also in that same video discuss why I think people hate it and why they're wrong. Now, I'm sorry if I come across as being rude, but I have to tell it like it is. If you are a real fan and you hate this movie, that's fine. You can have an opinion. If you say the CGI is bad or the acting's bad, I will disagree, but I will, I will respect you. However, I'm going to say this quickly now, and I'm going to touch on a lot. Basically, for the Last Jedi review in December, I'm going to have a huge list of reasons why people hated it, and I'm going to tell you guys why you or all the other people are wrong. So again, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to say the truth. Mainly with Last Jedi, a lot of people hated it was because it really did show the fake fans from the real fans. The real fans, like me, go, this is a great movie, I love everything about it. Of course, when you're dealing with Snoke's death, Rey's parents, Luke's death, Holdo, Rose, Canto Bight, the comedy, Chewbacca, everything in this movie. I love everything about this movie. Now, when I'm actually reviewing it, I have a few issues, but when it comes to what happens in the movie, I love everything. It's my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. It's the best directed, it's the best acted, it's the best with CGI, it's the best story, it makes you think. So people who complained about Canto Bight and Rose and Holdo and Snoke and Luke and Akbar and so many dumb, trivial things, I'm sorry, but you're immature and you don't understand film. I'm telling it like it is. Again, if you do hate the movie for real reasons, that's fine, and I respect that. But again, like I said before in the video, I respect opinions, not stupidity or ignorance. So if you're telling me, oh, I hate the movie because Luke died, or because, Canto Bight was boring, you just don't get the movie. Everything made sense, you just didn't get it. Everything worked, you just didn't appreciate it. And I think that one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people so wrongfully hate this movie is because of false expectations, right? Everyone in the world was like, oh, Snoke is that, Rey's parents are that, this is that. Snoke is Jar Jar Binks' mother reincarnated from Bowser. It was all pretty much garbage. And I'll admit, I had some garbage theories too. Everyone did. And people just need to understand that just because it didn't play out the way you had in your head doesn't mean it's a bad movie. Just try embracing the movie. Maybe watch it again if you really are ignorant, you hate it. Again, I'm trying not to be mean, and I might come off as mean in December when I tell you my reasons, but I do have to tell people why they're wrong and why they're being kind of dumb. And again, there is a real thing between a fan and a real fan, or should I say a fake fan. And this movie showed its true colors. It showed people who were fake fans. I've watched YouTube videos. People review this movie. Kevin Smith, so many people were pissed. Like, oh, Kevin Smith is like, oh, Luke should have done, like, blocked all of them and killed everyone. I'm like, first of all, that's not Luke's character at all, and you just don't get it. So many people, when you watch a Star Wars movie, they hold it to such a high degree, and this movie turned everything on its sideways. I think Rian Johnson, dude, you are a saint in the Star Wars community. You did a great job, and I love everything that you did. This is the best acted, the best CGI, like I said, the best story, and this one makes you think. For people who didn't like Canto Bight and Cantonica, you just don't know what that scene was about. For people who said Rose was a terrible character, you're wrong. She's a great character. And for people who are saying, oh, it's SJW, it's feminism, women power, whammon power, Rey is a Mary Sue, that is complete and utter BS, bantha fodder, and you need to recheck how you review Star Wars. So again, as one of my favorite YouTubers said, Star Wars does not need the closed-minded fake fans. It only appreciates the real people. Now again, I'm not saying I'm perfect with The Last Jedi or perfect with the prequels. I love everything Star Wars, but when I review each movie in December, you will see not every film is going to get an A+ for me. Last Jedi might, it might not. Once I watch them all again, I will decide. But for Last Jedi, again, I'm going to have a huge reason as to why people hate it and why they're wrong and why they're right for some reasons. Again, I'm not trying to call you an idiot or dumb if you hate the movie, but if you are one of these people who do hate it for these dumb reasons, I'm not calling you an idiot, so don't get mad at me. I'm just saying you need to rethink how you watch this movie, because it really is perfect. In some degrees, you just didn't, again, appreciate it or understand it. So, again, guys, I'm trying not to be rude here. I really don't want any dislikes or any hate in the comments. I love all my fans. If you do really hate Last Jedi for these reasons, I'm sorry. But you need to hear the truth. You're wrong. But anyway, that is my list for all my unpopular opinions for these movies most people hate that I absolutely adore, of course. Please tell me in the comments what you think about these movies. Which one of these films did you love? Did you hate any of these movies? And tell me why. I'd love to talk to you guys. I will comment, hopefully, to every single one of you who do comments. Again, I'm trying not to be rude, so don't take this as I hate you guys. I'm just trying to tell you like it is. And in December, I'm not pulling any punches in December with this Last Jedi review. I'm going to say some things that might upset people, but it needs to be said. So, again, for this video, no hate. I love all my fans. I just wanted to tell you what I think. Again, people are wrong. Again, I respect opinions, not stupidity and ignorance. And the main thing to take away from this is respect people's opinions, respect mine, I respect yours. Do not respect stupidity and ignorance, and also, opinions matter, you know? Just because someone, I might love the CGI in a movie, and you might not like it, you know, doesn't mean you have to call me an idiot, you know? But again, if you haven't seen the movie and you still hate it, or if you just hate it for dumb reasons and you're not understanding it, you're pushing some weird agenda that doesn't exist, you might need to rethink how you watch a movie. But anyway, with all these, please tell me your opinion. I'd love to hear them. Again, those are just some of my movies that I think are underrated. I do love a lot more, but I didn't want to make this video too long. It's already about 35 minutes, so sorry about that. But again, it had to be done. And watch out for my December review of all the Star Wars movies. It's going to be fun. Last Jedi video is going to be fun, but it also might be a little bit hard for some of you to listen to, but I'll try my best. There are some YouTubers who do the same thing I'm going to be doing in December, talking about why they love it and why fans are stupid. But again, that's another video. I don't want a lot of hate. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to wake some people up from their sleep of Star Wars knowledge. Anyway, guys, I loved all these movies, and I can't wait to hear what you think in the comments. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.